Hello everyone and welcome back to the Ironside cast with me, Matt. We have a tutorial here on Flak Term, a 2v2 map. Anyway, let's go through the players. Oh, we're on the Eastern Front today. As the Germans, we have Rachel as the Wehrmacht commander and also as the Wehrmacht Muro the commander. Who's in the search today? We have Mano, the commander, and Queen Goat also without a commander. This should be interesting to see. Conscripts are quickly rushing onto the field here to try and secure some ground. They're still sitting their pioneers up. Difficult. These are some very experienced players from both sides, I think, so we might have some pretty good action today. Very likely, anyway. Both Grenadiers advancing forward, some Grenadiers coming up behind as well. Let's see. That in position. Pioneers and Force Grenadiers are going to engage them here, but the Sappers are behind heavy cover. Panzers are going to be moving up to try and support. Germans quickly going to behind some cover of this statue here. Of an angel, I think? Yeah, that's an angel. Yes, we are somewhere in Europe after all. Soviets might have the upper hand here. It's hard to judge this early. The Pioneers are in a good position by this little fountain as they fight over this park. Meanwhile, we have more Soviets moving on to try and secure some ground. Grenadiers are arriving now for the other Wehrmacht player again. Like, Grenadiers are pretty hands-on around alongside the Volksgrenadiers. And the Pioneers is just... Overall, the Wehrmacht can just have a lot of units that can do the same long-range combat thing very early on. And be upgraded to perform other roles later. Makes them a little bit versatile. Looks like they have a commander. I think this is... Yeah, that's Panzer. I was trying to recognize it, but the three triangles means it's Panzer. I should probably recognize the star here in the Grenadiers, to be honest. And while the... Soviets are advancing up. Not much happening there. And down here the Soviets are still holding on behind this little stone wall. All Force Grenadiers are arriving forward, trying to secure up the ground. But the Pioneers have done a decent work for what they can do anyway. So the Soviets are trying to push up here. They're going to try and go for the cutoff point here. Can they aim and take the Force Grenadiers? They're not accurate enough by the looks of it. And unfortunately, the squad arrives. But they're being touched by the Sappers. Being flanked now by the Pioneers as well, though. But they managed to do the cutoff point, so that's gonna mean the Germans are gonna get some fuel for a little bit. And the Sappers have to pull out of that. So the German Force Leaders are a little bit more accurate than they are. So the Germans will also overrun down here, finally actually win this engagement. Because the Pioneers and the Force Leaders managed to win out with the Grenadier support. 10 kills on the Grenadiers. Did they use the rifle grenade? They might have used the rifle grenade. Very good play there from Rachel. On the north flank, the Soviets have also more sandbags. Now secure this point here as they try to advance. Sappers are going to get around the flank of this Pioneer squad. Tossing a grenade. Very good grenade there, that too. Great being tossed here by the Force Grenadiers. One's going to have to pull back. I think the Force Grenadiers should win that engagement, but there is a Maxim being rolled around here. They do know one German player has come for Panzer Division. We can see how that turns out. Maxim opening fire on the Volksgrenadiers. But that's Conscript's going to make it out of that. Based on the Grenadiers present. Molotov on the Volksgrenadiers though. MG34 sitting up here. Acts will quickly turn around as the Sappers are charging. The Maxim is suppressing and pinning down the Grenadiers. The southern flank we have Maxim arriving for the Soviets as well. The more Sappers pulling up as well. Looks like we have Infanterie Division, I'm pretty sure. Need ratios go for Infanterie. So Infanterie and Panzer. Those commanders are really good at augmenting each other and providing support. Covering each other's weaknesses, as I understand. Panzer can provide the heavy armor, and Infanterie can provide the, well, the infantry support. And really good infantry at that. Maxim's quickly getting shots into the Volksgrenadiers though. The Volksgrenadiers are behind heavy cover, which will help them for a good while, but they have been suppressed. Which means the accuracy will be quite lowered. More Maxims are rolling out for the Soviet Union. Looks like they might try to cover much of the field with Maxim fire. Not a bad choice, all things considering. As cover can be somewhat light on flak term, depending on where you are. So we have an MG42 coming up here for Rachel. Always a good machine gun, probably the best basic machine gun for our faction. The MG42 can do a lot of work. There's some Grenadiers from the Pegasus division. Unique infantry upgrade is the 100 round MT42, which is just an overall better MT42 for 10 more munitions. Like, there's no reason not to grab this if you're playing as Infanterie, because 100 rounds is really good compared to 50 rounds. Such a big upgrade. Maximus opening up, and the Grenadiers still quickly. Grenadiers will not be able to do much once they get suppressed. But the MG42 is remaining in down here, but has to turn around quick. Maximus pointing at it. Tabs are gonna rush now that they notice that the MG was sitting up. Grenade does go off. That might be bad for that MG42. Oh yeah. Not good at all. Germans might have to be considered retreating for a bit. MG42 upgraded, but it's too late. They have been suppressed. Without that, they have to pull back. But the Germans were expecting that. Meanwhile, up here, the Soviets are digging in while they're still fighting with the German infantry over this little pulpit area, like a gathering area. There's an MG42 man here by some Panzer Grenadiers, trying to provide some firepower on the northern flank. MP40 is starting to be upgraded on the post screen, is providing some medium to close range support. MG34 down here, supported by some Grenadiers. Looks like the Soviets managed to seal the MG42. That's a huge loss for the Germans. We do have a 2-1 coming onto the field. See if that has any impact. The Germans on the northern flank are trying to do their best. Oh, they did get a grenade of some kind on the bunker, destroying it. Could have been a Gebalde-Ladung or something. That's going to buy some time. We do an armored car running here for the Soviet Union, with a 50 caliber machine gun on top of it. A Lend-Lease American vehicle. And weapon for that matter. Maximus is still pinning down the German infantry and not allowing them to move much. 2-2 in the field here with a very unique ammo pattern. Already being up with the Radpanzer. Good to see. The 2 can be quite potent once it has Radpanzer on. Not really any anti-tank capabilities here from the Soviets. This might have a good chance of doing a lot of damage. Also waiting for... Oh, double 2-2. Are we gonna have a 2-2 attack team? Interesting choice from Rachel. Let's see how it turns out for them when they get into action. The Germans on the northern flank are having issues. Being overrun by some Soviets with T-70s soon coming up. But that armored car did a lot of work.
Grenadiers ready.
The 2-2 should soon be ready for action. I'm just waiting for some infantry support. You generally want infantry support nearby for your vehicles when they move into action. The Germans still have to deal with that 2-2, not 2-2, that armored car. Why do I say 2-2 reflexively? Is that just because it's the armored car I'm used to seeing? Yeah, you don't see a lot of armored cars in these games. Mostly just the Germans one. The German infantry is doing their best here. That 100 round MG42 is certainly going to help, but now the Soviet MG42 is going to be an issue here. The 2s are moving into action. That's going to be a lot of firepower on the move here. And they have both been upgraded with Radpanzer, so they have a lot more armor to work with. I don't think the Soviets are prepared for this. They are getting an AT gun now, seeing the 2-2s. The 2-2s can do a lot of damage in the meantime. Yeah, already they're clearing out that MG position and focusing down that Maxim. And they know the sappers can't really threaten it. So these 2-2s are just going to do a lot of damage. This going on, the Germans have secured this point again. The Soviets now have a T-70 up there. But 2-2s are just going to wreak havoc down here. Good assault there from Rachel. Using the advantage of their infantry to support it. And securing the ground. So the 8 stations is going to go down quick. That's a huge win for the Germans in a very short amount of time. Mthis is rolling onto the battlefield now though. Try and help secure the park. T-70 is now present, which I don't think the Germans have much to deal with. We have a Panzerbüchse, which has a slow chance to penetrate, and we do have a Pack 40 being rolled out and a Panzer II command tank. Let's see if that will be enough. Second T-70 being requisitioned. T-70 could actually be a decent choice against the 2-2s, but they have to be very cautious where they move them. Because if the 2-2s can get at the flank, they can probably take out the T-70s with ease. But we have some stormtroopers coming in around here behind the flak term. Big unit available to Wehrmacht Infanterie. T-70 is going to go for a rear assault here on the 2-2-2. Yeah, the armor hit. Even the Radpanzer cannot cover the rear that much. And now the T-70 did get 1-2 kill. 2-2 gets some penetrating shots. And then Pack takes out the T-70. T-70 in the field, but needs to avoid that Pack 40. They know there's a Pack 40 there. They don't want to advance too rapidly. Throwing grenade out of hatch there. And the Germans are quickly scavenging the regular T-70, good to see. Gonna give them a little bit more fuel to work with. Looks like a Panzerbüchse or something hit the armored car, and the command tank is now appearing. Using its autocannon. Lots of bunkers here for Rachel. Not for Rachel, for Queen Goat. That's a lot of bunkers. Will that be a good idea? It makes them somewhat static, which should means the Germans know where to hit them. Because I'm trying to get some points back, but it's not really being an easy thing for them. Bunker tries to being set up down here, but it has lost its gun already. If it had a gun to begin with, hadn't been upgraded yet. Because remember, bunkers in Ironside will lose their gunners if they get to a certain amount of health. They make static defenses not as potent. Which I think is a very good change from the Ironside development. Oh, lots of mines there from the Germans. Very smart. In case they have to pull back again. Thinking ahead, basically. And the Lux is doing a pretty good job there as a command tank with its autocannon. A little action going on down there. And Grenadiers there with the MP40s. That's the MP40 and the squad leader, that's what I was noticing. The Lux is still doing some damage. T-70 is going to try and roll up to try and do an assault. Tries to use its 45mm gun. Is it 45mm? Is it 37? I think it's 45mm. But I may be mistaken. I think it should be a 37. I really cannot tell. And nor do I remember. Right in front there's not going to do much. Never mind, there's some shrapnel damage. T-70. Oh, that's a T-60, man. That's not a T-70. That's a T-60. I'm blind. That thing has an autocannon from the Soviets. Basically like it looks. Why did I say T-70? Did I miss something? I'm getting blind. I'm going blind, aren't I? And the Germans are still holding on down here. They have brought in a light infantry gun. Generally a good choice if you're playing as German infantry. Can be a good little versatile artillery piece. Looks like the T-60 is actually doing a good amount of job hitting the German front line. But the Pack 4 is now setting up. T-60 does back off at that. Very smart. So with more on the field, but it is taking some damage. No commander choices yet? Yes, one has gone for Tankovaya. The other's gone for Shock. Okay. We have Shock and Tankovaya versus Panzer and Infanterie. Generally pretty decent choices. Shock is always a pretty good choice in my opinion. And Tankovaya is pretty good as well. This is what they got the T-60 from. Meanwhile, both sides just figuring what to do from here. Germans are digging in and bringing up their field guns. Choose on the move. Those need to try and get the point back. Get some kind of equilibrium with the front line. Germans are trying to set up a pillbox of some kind. Lux is on the field here to just do some havoc. Harassing the Soviet front line. As they know the Soviets' AT capabilities is not as good. Oh, just driving over them. Brutal. Very brutal for that tank commander. He really does not like the Soviets. Trying to reload the autocannon. T-60 is going in for the kill. But all the Lux needs is one penetration. Oh, engine issues though, after being hit. And T-70 wins that engagement. Very lucky there for the T-70, because all it would take is the Lux to get one penetrating hit. Because the T-70's armor won out that day. Okay, well, the front line is sort of stabilized down here. We do have heavy mortars coming up for the shock army. They're trying to figure out what their next move can be. So most of the action will be up here for a moment. Tank is being rolled up. They know what a T-70 is. And there we go, T-70 down. Although they threw a Gabalda out on just in case. And Bongo also neutralized. T-60 is being repaired. There's some Soviet rifle guards in the field. Rifle guards, motor guards. Having been upgraded with double DPM for extra firepower. The Germans have secured a lot of ground. They're threatening this northern flank. Damaging the equipment about. Very good to see from the Germans. A little bit extra to work with. 50 munitions. Not too much, but everything helps, and it denies to the Soviets if they move up there again. And yes, are trying to get to good positions to capture ground. But the T-60 can cover the area. That's not the most accurate, but it is an autocannon. As you can see. But can the Germans tighten the noose? They seem to be working to it, and I like to see the Volksgrenadiers laying mines. That's a very good play. German infantry can mostly lay mines. Well, most German infantry can. For the Wehrmacht, so that's a very good indicator that you need to lay mines a lot. It's good to see. Good to choose there and lead an assault here. Gonna be in range of the T-60 though. Oh, T-60 penetrated twice, and that's enough. Because the Radpanzer there save it that day. So it's trying to do an assault down here. Panzerschreck armed the Volksgrenadiers decide to pull back. And Sturmgewehr armed Volksgrenadiers as well, covering the flank. Unique upgrade if they're playing as Infanterie. Can really improve the firepower of your Volksgrenadiers. Got the Stormtroopers with Sturmgewehrs and MG42. It's a lot of good firepower in one squad. And an artillery observation stock here to oversee the front line as well. And the lieutenant from his command tank still trying to cause issues on the front line here. T-60 neutralized by the stock. Given artillery being called in this position. And the stock advances. Stock can call in a precision strike. Pretty handy. They want to try and threaten the Soviet base. But there's a assist gun, so the stock has to be cautious.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
And Grenadiers also advancing. Not a lot of infantry to stop them at the moment. Good rifling, and that's this. Maximus holding down here. Infantry gun is trying to weaken up the Soviet front line here. Pretty precise shots, but they also have to deal with a heavy mortar somewhere. Where is it? Oh, it's back there at the moment. It's being ordered to do counter barrages.
All of our troops have been lost.
They do have a Stu-42 coming out here for the Infantry Division. A good assault gun for assaulting fortified positions because it's use of high explosive rounds. Maximus is still suppressing German infantry as they try to push up through the park. So far, it's not working too well for them. Though the Soviets have lost a lot of terrain. The Soviets in this around, their base is actually threatened from the northern flank at this point. Good mortar round though from that Soviet mortar. Doing a lot of damage. Reconnaissance round being called in here by the Lieutenant. Can he manage to call it in? And he can. It's gonna give the Germans an idea what's going on. You know, the stock has been immobilized there. You can see there's not as much defense up here, I imagine. And the German infantry is just slowly using all the defenses they can as they hold the park. Moving up from cover to cover as they push the Soviets back. Though to deal with the stolen MG42, it's still operational. It's down here now. And there's 242s on the field here. A very good assault gun. I'm also upgraded with a Panzeroffizier, which allows it to be more accurate with its cannon, but means it cannot use its MG42 on top, so it's limited to its gun only. It's because of all this cover around, because it could hit its own cover and kill some Germans if it's not careful. German vehicles are not very accurate on the move. They have to stand still to be very useful. Might actually be worth ordering it to hold fire and only fire when ordered to. Although I can't hit that tower, surprisingly well it seems. But as the Soviets do, there's a stew here. And the stew is pretty good at assaulting, as you can imagine. It's after all a howitzer mounted on it. Not just a normal cannon. Soviets really want to get this point back. Germans are rushing a truck up to repair the tracks there on the observation stock. And the Soviets are assaulting with shock Superman, Mthis guns, and more guards arriving. Guards are very good infantry, so they can take the fight to the Germans a bit. They're calling here by the Soviets. It's going to be from the Soviet lieutenant. Going to be a 82mm high explosive. Just going to deny the Germans from advancing for a bit. But only for a while. There's also Panzer IV assaulting down here. Doing a pretty good job assaulting. Looks like Rachel prefers to go for Panzer officers rather than machine guns on top. Fragmentation rates being thrown out of its canisters. So some German tanks actually had fragmentation canisters on their vehicle. Not modeled in the game though, I think. But they would like be sticking out the front sides and everything on the turret and the hull. And the stars preparing to move forwards again. German Hauptmann from the stock is apparently trying to do something. Guards are assaulting. They're going to be targeted out in the open height here. Very accurate shots by the Germans. As artillery of the Lieutenant gets called in. I was saying before, these really allowed the folks in this just mow down the guards out in the open. Then out in the open, automatic fire will just mow down infantry. Some Sturmgewehr armed forces is advancing. And take out the Mthis gun. But now the Sabba's in the way. Quickly getting some good shots in with the Sturmgewehrs, as you can see, but the Great forces them back. Stu advances again. Quickly working to just clear out the Mthis gun. With the infantry for support. Good to see. The heavy mortar is firing back. But the Stu is really good at just dealing with the entrenched positions, as you can imagine. And so far it's showing it. Well, the Soviets are still having issues up here. We do see a KV-8 bringing work positions. Well, a KV-8 being off though. Germans are lacking an AT apart from the pack at the moment. The double packs, I mean. So the KV-8 could do a lot of work, potentially. Okay, well, the infantry has panzer support still down here. But Soviets are having issues trying to deal with these Stu. No tanks yet from the shock army. We'll have to see if the KV-8 can help the Soviets here. Good mortar around there on the German positions though. What is the German Panzer Division waiting for? They're trying to save for a Tiger tank. Yeah, no, they go for a Panther. Good choice. I generally say the Panther is a very good choice for a tank. After all, the Panther has better frontal armor than the Tiger has. Sure, it doesn't have an 80mm gun, but sometimes having good armor is much better, in my opinion. Because it can help you survive longer, and it still has a very high velocity gun that can generally make short work of most allied tanks. Like even this KV-8, it's not gonna last long against the Panther at range. Let's see how much use they can make of the KV-8 before the Panther arrives though. Because the Panther is very fast. They can get to the front line very quickly and maneuver about. It's like a very good jack of all trades tank. The only issue with the Panther is, historically, it had very thin side armor, which isn't a feature in Company Furious 2, unfortunately, and very bad rear armor. Getting behind the Panther is very difficult. Yeah, the Shu-mines are not going to do much against the KV-8. But the Pak-40s can penetrate, as you can see. The KV-8 decides to, against the assaulting, putting a smoke round. It has cleared out the gunner of the Mungo though. Packs doing their best here. Main gun destroyed. KV has to back off. Or will take us one more penetrating shot though. So the Panther will make it back safely. Not Panther, the KV-8 will make it back safely.
Ready to deploy, Comrade Commander.
But as I said, it did take out the gunner on one bunker. Claims are good at doing that. The Panther has evaded the front line. Also, the Germans are preparing for the assault on the southern flank here. Sysgun is waiting for them, though. They also have a Sysgun back there. And another Sysgun. Oh, lots of Sysguns. Okay. Well, it's making it very difficult for the German armor to make any advances. With the infantry is moving about the flank here. And the scout ahead for the Panzer. Here we have the Panther moving about. I don't think the Soviets on the northern flank are prepared for a Panther. I don't think they have the means to stop it. They don't even have a Sis anymore. Can grab that Sis though, and looks like they will. Hard choice. But the Germans are assaulting on the southern flank here. Soviets are formed up. Sis guns have formed the Sis front. It's not an easy thing to assault. It's 2 firing artillery rounds. Hitting the Soviet infantry. But the Sis front is starting to do its thing. Another artillery, AT gun preparing. And for H has to pull back. And it's supposed to pull back too. They realize they cannot take that fight that easily. There's fire on that Sis gun. Meanwhile, the Panther's assaulting the northern flank now. So it's gonna try and attempt an AT grenade, but it's been covered by infantry. And if a Panther is covered by infantry, it's very hard to get close to it. You know, that's the thing with all tanks. If you have infantry support near it, they will protect it very well. Now the Soviet base is really under duress. As they're threatening the actual base defense bunkers now with the Panther. The Soviets stopped this. So the southern flank is certainly going to have problems. The base defense is slowly being riddled. Being cleared out. The Panther is not going to be very threatened by a Sysgun, I think. Though the Soviets decide to pull back, the Germans decide to pull back for now. Not the Soviets. Having a hard time keeping track of the factions. And Muru curses their retreat path, taking losses from it. And that Su is doing a lot of work. And that Stu is just slowly taking pot shots here. Man tank also arriving here to oversee the front line for the German Infantry Division. The Germans might soon have the means to just close this area off and secure this park. In the grander scheme of this battle for this city or whatever it is. And the Panther is just slowly hitting the base now. What can the Soviets do? Naval Werf was also called in by looks of it. Sysgun setting up to try and deal with that Panther tank. That's going to be a very hard sell. Especially at long range from the front. 45mm on the KV has been a well positioned to try and open fire, but that's not going to do much. Panther can just drive up here. While the Sysgun is arriving. And the 45mm is just plinking off, it's not doing anything. And the Panther can just shoot straight into the KV, as you can see. And artillery fire is not going to do much. Panther is just too powerful a tank. But this is going to Germans also assaulting on the southern flank. It might be over for the Soviets. This too is doing a lot of work. And at this point, the Soviets surrender. A good match in this park. I hope you'll enjoy it. I'll see you all next time, everyone. Bye bye.